15 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I looked to add this week. The first guy, Trey Lyles of the Detroit Pistons. I've mentioned Lyles a few times over the last few weeks here on the ad list. And right now, he's still available widely in 75% of fantasy leagues on the season. 10 points a game, 4.8 boards, 1.2 assists, and 44% from the field. But the last couple weeks here for Lyles, 14.4 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and 44% from the field. So right now, he's getting playing time. He's scoring the basketball. He's rebounding decently. As long as he's playing 20-plus minutes here, Lyles is definitely a factor for fantasy owners. And he's putting up numbers. January 19th at the Kings, 9.6 boards, a block at 33% from the field. January 21st at Utah, 16 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a block, 3 threes, 55% from the field. And January 23rd at Denver, 18 points, 5 boards, an assist, a block, and 54% from the field. So right now, if you need some three-point shooting, rebounding, and scoring, Trey Lyles, who qualifies at power forward and center, is definitely a good add this week. The second center I looked at this week is Kevon Looney of the Golden State Warriors. I mentioned Looney as a weekend pickup, but right now, as a normal pickup, for this week at least here, he's definitely a guy that's going out there and putting up some decent stats at the center position. 6.2 points a game, 7.2 rebounds, 1.6 assists on the season, and 55% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, his rebounding's definitely bumped up. 7.3 points a game, 10 boards, 2 assists, and 61% from the field. So right now, if you need some rebounding and a pretty efficient field goal percentage, Looney is a good add in my opinion. He's not going to have those monster games where he's going to go 20-20, but he definitely could go 10-10 on some nights here. January 20th versus Indiana, 13 points, 15 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals. January 21st versus Houston, 8 points, 12 boards, a steal, 4 blocks. And January 23rd versus Utah, 10 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, and 80% from the field. So that field goal percentage over the last 3 games has averaged out to 90%, and that's obviously great, even though he's had a limited amount of attempts. But right now, I definitely would give Looney an add, and he's available in 66% of fantasy leagues. The next head is Bismack Biyombo of the Phoenix Suns. So with these safety and protocol things happen earlier in the month and in December, Biyombo, he took advantage of it, and he got a full contract for the rest of the season here with this Phoenix Sun team. And he's been a big surprise, in my opinion, so far here. 10.1 points a game, 6.9 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1.3 blocks, and 70% from the field. So last season, he didn't do much Biyombo. But this year here, the numbers have definitely gone up, and he's playing great basketball, especially in a short amount of time that he's been with Phoenix. January 17th at San Antonio, 17 points, 14 boards, an assist, a steal, 80% from the field. January 20th at Dallas, 9 points, 4 boards, an assist, 2 steals, 66% from the field. And then January 22nd versus the Pacers, he had a monster ball game, 21 points, 13 boards, 5 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and 75% from the field. So he could definitely shot block, which we always knew. We always knew he was a good rebounder, and now he's even scoring the basketball at a decent rate. And right now, he's available in 68% of fantasy leagues. And if you need center help, Biyombo is a good pickup this week. The next center is LaMarcus Aldridge of the Brooklyn Nets. Ever since he returned is Aldridge. I've mentioned him as a weekend pickup, and now as a pickup for this week as well. Aldridge is playing good basketball since he returned on the season. 13.6 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 1.1 blocks, and 56% from the field. But the last few games since he returned was Aldridge. January 17th at Cleveland, 13 points, 5 boards, an assist, a block, a steal, 60% from the field. January 19th at Washington, 27 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 73% from the field. January 21st at the Spurs, 16 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, a block. And January 23rd at Minnesota, 6 points, 2 boards, an assist, 37% from the field. So right here, he's playing good basketball as Aldridge. The Nets, obviously, they wanted him back badly in this offseason because they know what he could bring to the table. And luckily, he was cleared and good to go. But right now, he's only available in 38% of fantasy leagues. But he's definitely a center I would add this week. And the fifth and final center to add this week is Goga Bitadze of the Indiana Pacers. So he's been a hot pickup over the last few games here is Biz Days, especially with Miles Turner out until the All-Star break or later. And I think Turner is going to get traded anyway before the NBA deadline. So on the season here for Biz Days, 3.9 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, and 40% from the field. But with expanded roll down the last couple weeks, 8.8 points a game, 4.8 boards, 1.5 assists, a block, and 52% from the field here. So he's a guy, he's going to have some good games and he's going to have some bad games. And looking at his game log, January 19th at the Lakers, 3 points a board, 2 blocks, 100% from the field. January 20th at the Warriors, 13 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, a block, at 41% from the field. And January 22nd at Phoenix, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 42% from the field. So Business, he's putting up some decent numbers. He's available in 60% of fantasy leagues. And if you need a big man that could score 10, 11 points a game and rebound 9, 10 a game, I think he's a decent guy you could get under the radar. So that's a few centers I look to add here for Week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.